play D. When the microphone is open, you come through, and especially since I ran out of words. Y'all give it up one more time for our host, Play D and Queen D. Y'all better clap, they got a podcast. They can talk about y'all.
Matriarch over here. Well, we didn't print this before we didn't print this, so my apologies there. But how y'all like the music so far? How's the band doing? How y'all doing? Y'all doing all right? That's good. That's good. Keep it going. Help support that band. We're gonna keep the show going tonight.
So this is what inspired me to be a musician. I have to first give an honor to God because He gave me the talent.
Amen.
You know, I know when I have a talent. And then my daddy loved music, you know, and he cleaned up to it, he washed clothes to it, and he just listened. And I mean, he listened to Duke Ellington, Frank Sinatra, Ella Fitzgerald, and that's why I got the love of music that I have.
So what famous people, you said he listened to a lot of famous people. Did you get a chance to meet any of them?
Yes. I got a chance to meet Nancy Wilson.
Wow.
I got a chance to meet, I don't know if many of you know, Charlie House Singleton came right out of Jacksonville, Florida. I mean, he was actually a relative, a distant relative. So I got to meet a lot of writers and stuff in the entertainment industry. Yes.
That's wonderful. Right. So I wanted to ask you, so who are some, you said your dad, any other mentors that you can...
Eleanor Boaz taught me probably most of what I understand about music, diction, enunciation. Got a chance to meet other people like Roberta Flack. I met her years and years ago. So I got a lot of time to meet the entertainers.
Yeah, now right now, we're going through a lot of political things right now, and what would you say to our governor about keeping music in the school for the children?
Oh, definitely. I mean, I think that it would harness a lot of the problems that they have in school.
Absolutely.
You know, and it start your day out with some music. That's how it, what does it say? It soothes the savage beast.
Absolutely, yes. And for children out there who are listening, even for some young people out there, I call it reinventing themselves.
Exactly.
Yes.
If that's what you want to do, if you want to do music, do not ever let someone tell you that's something you can't do. Okay? Because there are a lot of people that start out singing music and say, okay, I don't want to sing, I want to write. And they are prolific writers.
Absolutely, absolutely. We have a lot of children out there right now in high school. If you're out there listening right now, what would you say to the young people?
Keep playing, keep practicing.
Yes,
practice
absolutely.
makes perfect. You cannot practice enough.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Clay, do you have any questions? If he has a question, he's so feeling me. I'm going to hold this. Okay.
So my question would be is, what would you say to those who think that jazz is probably an old person's category, not hip enough, not cool enough? Because you know, a lot of people, my generations, millennials or Gen Z, think this is old folk music or dinosaur music. They just want to hear rap, hip hop.
No, let me tell
So
you something.
what's your response to that?
Jazz is the foundation of every music genre there is. Just listen to it. You just have to feel it. You can feel every note in jazz. Just listen to it.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Get back.
Thank you so much.
gonna change this a little bit.
Hey, this is Queen D, and I had an exciting, wonderful, amazing time with the Bolita Princess. I want to say, thank you so much for inviting me. I had such a wonderful time.
We had a wonderful time
Yes,
tonight.
it was. And I loved all the people that came out. That was
Energy.
awesome.
The
And those
energy
two
was-
girls,
Yes.
those two young ladies, those queens, they could really belt it out.
Exactly.
Did you just meet them?
I just met them for the first time. They're always invited to jam sessions, and they happened to come this time in India. And I mean, just
It worked
we
out.
did
well.
it.
It
you
worked
know,
out. We did it. And I'm just so excited for you.
Thank
and this is
you.
a new journey for you, isn't it?
This is a new and exciting journey.
Okay, so you're retired and now you picked up a new job. Now she really works.
No, I'm doing what I really want to
Right?
do.
This is not even a job. This
Yeah.
is just fun. This is your passion.
This is my passion.
Right? And I want everyone to remember the name Bolita Princess, because guess what? She might be come to your town or on your show. So thank you so much.
Thank you so
appreciate
much,
it.
Queen D.
Thank
and
you.
Clay. Thank you.
And this is Queen Court's Conversation. And we'll see you next time. Bye. Hey, I'm back. Hi, I am Queen D, and this is Queen Court Conversation. I'm so excited to be back here in Florida, the sunny state. I love this state. What can I say about it? It's where the water is, it's where the sun is, it's where you always feel like you're on vacation. For me, anyway. But I'm excited to be back here. I've been traveling for over a year, making connections, having some fun. But you probably was wondering, what happened to Queen? If you've been following all of my reels, you would know that Queen was busy. But guess what? It's because it's all in for what's going to happen today. First of all, I want to introduce my friend and my colleague, and she's amazing. What can I say? Rhonda Stansbury. Good morning, Rhonda.
Good morning, Queen. Thank you so much for having me.
Kisses. I love her. What's not to love? She's wonderful. You know what? I wish she could be with me all the time, because she does the things that I would forget. Because Queen is a Pisces, and we two fishes. We don't always swim in the same direction. We are in conflict with each other, okay? But Rhonda, the last time you were here, we were talking about this book here, about her dad. And what a wonderful book this is. She was honoring her dad. And I read all about it. I learned so much about Florida and the history and numbers runners and all that stuff that I didn't know about.
Okay.
But I'm going to plug you anyway, girl, because you deserve it. My crown fell, but don't worry about that. This here is Rhonda on the cover. Okay, tell us about that, Rhonda.
Okay, this
I'm just so excited for it.
I was blessed. Mickey Solar put me on the cover of her magazine in the UK, and she wrote an article about me and my book, my upcoming movie that I'm working on, and it's just a blessing to have been on the cover of this magazine.
It is a blessing. That is wonderful.
Yes.
Yeah. So, Rhonda and I also, I got to keep showing you this, we went to LA, right?
Absolutely.
Wasn't that wonderful?
We went to the luxury gala.
Tell her about it, girl.
Okay, we went to the luxury gala. I had attended the year previous, and it was such a wonderful event. It's hosted by Samira Kazamini, beautiful woman. She came up with this idea of having this show, and it's an Oscar gala, and Alice and I went this year.
Yes.
And we met Ernie Hudson, and I'm like,
Oh,
my
yes.
goodness,
Oh,
we met Lawrence Hilton Jacobs.
Yes.
We hung out with Sir Earl Toon from Kool and the Gang. We had a wonderful time. It
Shout out
was
to those
a stellar
beautiful people.
event, so shout outs to Samara.
Samara, shout out to you.
Samara
you.
will be hosting this event again in March. So this event is held the same night as the Oscars is held.
Yes. And Samara is such a wonderful person. She gives out awards to people who deserve it.
Exactly. Samara has probably out of the last 12 months I've been in her magazine and featured articles at least 6-7 times. So that's been a plus for me, and it's gotten my sales for my book up. It's given me an opportunity to talk about the movie.
Yes. So we're going to rewind a little bit for those who did not read Rhonda's book. Tell us about your book.
Okay, my book, it starts out, you always start from the beginning when you write something about someone's life. And my father, Frank Price Chico Baker, was a numbers runner, a Bolita King. For all of you that don't understand Bolita, numbers running, it's the same thing that you're doing every day when you go out and purchase lottery tickets. But then, during the time that he was doing it, it was illegal. So what he did is he amassed a fortune being what they called a banker and running numbers in the city of Jacksonville. Through his life, had a lot of federal cases that came against him because what they're calling this is wagering of taxes. And when you're wagering taxes, you're not paying money. You're not paying taxes on the monies that you've earned. And the feds were constantly after this one person. In short, what they said is they wanted to get that uppity Negro. This was a sign of the times.
Right,
I didn't come up with that; they did.
Okay.
And through the cases that he went through his life, he died at a very young age of 47 from a massive heart attack.
Wow.
And I think that if he had lived, he would have written this book. But at 10 years old, after his last federal case was over, he said, Sugar, I think I'm going to write a book. And I was like, okay, but he never got that chance. So I decided.
So you got the chance.
I decided I would write the book.
You got the chance.
So I said, okay, so what am I going to call this book? Everybody said, okay, so-and-so's running numbers. Numbers, 35 and 53. Those were his pet numbers. 35, and you always flip those numbers in 53. But the part that comes in, the case of the brown paper bag, came from attorney Earl Johnson Sr., who was my father's attorney, who also was Dr. Martin Luther King's attorney.
Okay, let's talk about that brown paper bag. Let's talk about that.
The brown paper bag
For those
is
supposedly
Kings and
the
Queens. Hallmark of the numbers game. What people are saying is that if you walked around from tavern to tavern carrying a small brown paper bag, you must be a numbers runner.
Okay. We know about that little thing, like they put the liquor in it too, right?
Yeah, a little bag.
And
my father probably had about 21 people on his payroll.
Wow.
So he had people actually selling numbers for him. And just like in the lottery today, you don't win.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's talk about that, because what people don't realize is that Rhonda grew up wealthy. She got a chance to meet some wonderful people, even as a little girl, right?
As a little girl. My father was friends with people like Bob Hayes, Bob Hayes, and he grew up together. We call him Bob Bullet Hayes. He was the fastest man.
Yeah.
He went to the 1964 Tokyo Olympics, and I think he won 49 medals.
Wow.
But he was a constant person that was at my house. There was a lot of entertainers.
You got a little diamond ring. I remember that diamond ring that you got when you were a little girl. I love that.
My father was just this person that he lived for today.
Yes.
Tomorrow will take care of itself. But he lived every day as if it was his last. And if he saw it, he bought it. I remember so vividly, and I don't want people to think that my father was this God or something.
No.
He was just a man, but he lived as we all should. I remember one Sunday night, he said, you know what, I think I want to buy me a Corvette. Next day, he comes home with the Corvette.
Yeah.
He kept that Corvette brand new off the showroom floor. He says it's a lemon.
Yeah.
I'm going to go buy another one. I'm going to order me another one. Okay, he ordered another one, but in the midst of him waiting on that car to come in, he went over to Peter Gregg's. And that was the Mercedes dealership at that time. And he decided, no, I want this 280 SL Mercedes.
Okay, I love Mercedes.
And when he bought that car,
I love Mercedes. That's my car.
that is when his troubles really heightened.
Of course,
He was already in trouble.
Okay,
You know, you caught a charge of perjury. You know, people expect to put you in what I call a precarious posture and think that you're going to tell on someone else.
Yes.
And he didn't. But Earl Johnson was such a magnificent attorney.
Mm-hmm.
He told my father, he said, because you did not tell and you did not speak like they wanted to, you too, they're going to charge you with perjury. And that's exactly what they did. And just on and on through the years, you know, I could walk outside.
Did you also say that you met Duke Ellington?
Yes.
Because that's like one of my favorite. I
did. I had the
love jazz
opportunity
music.
to meet him. Charlie Hall Singleton was very close to my family, and I later learned that the reason he is because he was a relative. Charlie Hall Singleton was the writer of Spanish Eyes. You know, everybody in the world has sang Spanish Eyes.
Yes.
From Elvis to Frank Sinatra.
Yes.
So all of the greats have sang that song.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And I kept wondering, okay, why, you know, they're so close, you know. And I found that he was a distant cousin.
Time out. Now, the reason why I said time out, because what you don't know about Rhonda is that she also can sing. And Rhonda is very gifted in that, and maybe some of that musical background of being around those people actually influenced you. So let's talk about your singing.
Okay, so at 9 years old, I started taking professional voice lessons from a professional coach. I loved Nancy Wilson.
I love Nancy Wilson.
And I just thought that she was so elegant and just, she was what I wanted to be as a vocalist. She had everything. She had the style, the grace, the poise.
Beauty.
And
she was amazing.
She had her own way of getting music
very
over.
Unique, yes.
She sang the song, Guess Who I Saw Today.
I love that song.
And
Guess Who I Saw
that
Today.
resonates
Guess
to
who
this
I love
day.
That song.
And I
That's
love
my song.
Billie Holiday.
That's my favorite.
Now, there's a vocalist by the name of Dakota Staton. She had an album that came out in 1958 entitled Late Late Show. I play that at least once a week. I actually have the album out of my father's collection.
Wow.
And
that's wonderful.
That's
wonderful.
I like real music.
I love
and I'm not saying today
music.
It's not good.
We're not criticizing.
No
judgment
It
here.
just hits home.
But not only that, they used real instruments.
Yeah.
And you actually had to learn how to play the instruments. Now, no judgment zone here, but when you have to learn to read music or
and you
hear
can transpose
and
on the
it's a
turn
different
of
thing.
a dime.
It's a different journey.
And that's one of the things that the gentleman that I play with, they can turn on a dime.
I know.
You know, I can turn around to John Taylor, Jarvis Braswell, and I can say, hey, I need this in the key of G. And it takes seconds, and they're in the key of G. They're classically
those
trained.
are the goats,
you know,
they call them.
Yeah, they know.
They know what to do.
We talk about music, and one thing about when you're working with musicians, you guys have got to vibe off of one another. You got to feel each other.
Yeah, got to feel each other.
You know, and sometimes they can actually say, I know what you want, Rhonda.
Yeah.
I can feel this.
It's kind of like church, you know, with the gospel. When
exactly.
They look at each other and they just know what to do.
You know what to do.
Yeah.
And we when we're performing, you know, sometimes we feel that the song is doing well and the crowd is wanting more, and we just keep on with that same song. And you know, you were there. I did the Tina Turner.
What a blessing. Rhonda invited me, and I had such a wonderful time. Clay, my co-host, my partner, we went there, and Rhonda and her band performed, and we had a magical time. Thank you so much again.
We had a wonderful time.
It was wonderful.
So the music industry, I think that, you know, that's what initiates a lot of this for me. My love of music.
Yes.
My love of being able to deliver my thoughts through music.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's talk about that. What inspires you to keep going?
I want to prove that it can be done. Your dreams can be fulfilled. My daddy spent so much time You know, one of my greatest pleasures,
Yeah.
one of my greatest things, we did a show together, my father and I. We did a play together entitled Manhattan Towers. It's an off-Broadway show where the gentleman is talking about, Gordon Jenkins is talking about the buildings in New York that are so high.
Yes.
You know, and the
I am
towers
a
that
New
are so
Yorker, if you
high.
don't know it.
And my father was the narrator,
Yes.
you know, speaking
Yes.
in that. And I actually got the lead role as a vocalist.
Oh,
So
wow.
being able to be in the show and then co-star with your dad, that was wonderful.
That's wonderful. And that's where we're going to segue to the next thing. Now, there's an exciting project. I'm so
Yes.
excited, girl. I can't tell you how excited I am for her. She's got an exciting project. Tell us about the project.
Okay, so after I wrote the book,
Yeah.
I kept saying, there's more. My cousin, Stell, she said, there's more in you, Rhonda.
Absolutely.
And I love her so much. She has gone home to be with the Lord, but she says, there's more in you. And I sat down and I started to write a script. And the movie, and I'm finished with the script. So what I'm looking for now is serious investors for this movie. And I can be contacted easily by my name, Rhonda Stansbury. DM me. Only serious people DM me. Oh yes.
I love that.
Seriously?
I love that.
Everybody
Only
knows
serious
me.
people.
Everybody that knows me knows that I am straightforward.
She don't play.
You don't leave the room confused.
Yeah, that's what I love about her.
Okay. So I started writing because I could not tell everything in this book, but I tell almost everything in the movie.
I can't
And
wait
it's
to
called
see it.
Numbers 35 and 53, the Frank Baker story.
Now I want to ask you a question. I have on my cards here, do you have any mentors?
Yes,
Okay.
I do. Of course, my father is
Of
a
course.
mentor.
Yes.
Eleanor Boaz, my
Okay.
vocal coach, is a mentor for me.
Okay.
Yes.
And shout out to Eleanor. Tell us about her.
Eleanor
And why is she a
Boaz
mentor to
was
you?
actually an older white female. She knew music. She could hit those keys like
Okay.
no one else. And see, she didn't teach me just how to sing. She taught me how to use my voice as an
Okay.
instrument. You know, and that was the quality. She taught me diction, enunciation, and she told my father, and I want Rhonda to go to modeling school. So she wanted me to have the whole
Okay,
package.
yes.
If I was going to be on stage,
Yes.
she wanted me
To be prepared.
to be prepared.
And have that foundation.
Right.
So important.
And so those are the things that I learned. She wanted me to learn how to act.
Okay, so I have another question here. What is a defining moment that changed the course of your life?
The defining moment that changed the course of my life was when I completed that book.
Wow. Yeah.
I
yeah.
did not
That was like
know
the therapy, wasn't
that
it?
it was therapy for me.
Yeah.
Because I had no idea how much I had bottled up inside. See, people were not taking therapy seriously in 1983 when
Yeah.
my father passed away. And I never got the therapy to be able to move forward. After writing that book, I was able to move forward. There was a portion in that book that I was writing, and I actually returned to that day, and I typed and I typed, and I started to cry and I started to cry, and I literally ended up on the floor screaming.
And that's why I'm afraid to write a book.
And my daughter, who is my ride or die,
Seriously, yeah.
she came downstairs.
Wow.
And she literally had to get me up off of the floor. And I just have to tell you, this particular
Writing is therapy.
portion was when my daddy had been framed and drugs had been dropped in his car. And he walked and he cried, and he was talking to his mother, who was his rock, you know. And my father was a godly man. Don't think because he was a numbers runner, he
No
didn't know the
judgment zone
Lord.
here. Only God
You
can
know,
judge. Only
And
God can
we
judge
we
people.
went to church on Sunday. We sang in the church choir. We were ushers You know, we had a great foundation, but I remembered him crying and saying, how could someone do this to me? Why would someone do this to me? Now, he's crying like a baby. My grandmother's crying. My baby sister, I guess she was crying because we were crying.
How old were you, Rhonda?
9.
It's amazing, your memory. It's amazing how
And
that's like
it's so much that
it's
happened
ingrained in your memory.
during this time. I tell people I was a nosy little girl.
Wow. Just very
You
bright,
know.
very bright. Inquisitive means you're very
And
smart.
I think that all of that was
Yeah.
done for
Yeah.
such a time as this.
Yes.
So I can talk about,
Right. And he's looking down on you
memories,
right now.
you know,
Yes.
for me, I always would love to hear him
Mm.
say, "You did well, sugar. You did well."
Mm-hmm.
You know, after I would come off stage, if I performed, he said, "Great job, sugar."
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. It touches my heart. You know, writing is such good therapy. You know?
And it is.
And-
And I was able to get that out.
Yeah.
You know, and I was able to tell his story. Now
Yeah.
the movie talks in great deal, in great depth of people. One of the things that my mother, she said, "Rhonda, you gotta trust in God. Don't put your trust in man.
Okay.
For he will forsake you."
Okay.
And you know, you
Can't
and
stress
I
that
talk
enough.
on a daily
We talk
basis.
about that.
And this business is a cutthroat business.
It is.
You know, I'm up against devils daily. You know,
Yeah.
but I stay prayed up.
Stay prayed up.
You know, you touch not my anointed and do my prophet
That's
no
right. No weapon
harm.
formed against me
And
shall
I get up
prosper.
in
Okay.
During my day, I'm praying, and when I go
Yes.
to bed at night, I'm praying.
You have
and
to.
I ask God for guidance. Give me the guidance that I need to make it through this, because this has not been easy.
Yeah, this is not for the faint at heart. If you're in some kind of illusion that you're just going to be a superstar and everything's just going to fall into place,
it doesn't.
you can forget it. Everything you do in life is hard
It's
work.
hard. It's hard work.
Hard work. And there will be people there who want to steal what I call destiny, your destiny swappers, that they're too lazy to do the work themselves.
But want to be in on everything that you're doing.
Right.
You
And my
know.
message to them is that you can't be Queen D, you can't be Rhonda, you can't be anybody but you. Okay?
You know, and
because what God has for you is for you, and what God has for you and for me is for me.
It's mine.
And you can't get over God. Your arm's too short to box with God. That's all I'm going to tell you.
And one of
I'm
the
going to leave that
things
alone. This is
you're
Sunday.
You're going to have to understand something. You are
Yeah.
going to lose a lot of friends.
Okay? I can't
Be
say
ready.
it. I can't
you know,
say it.
when I spoke with this lady
It's
many,
so
many
true.
years ago, she's an older lady, and she said, "Rhonda, be prepared."
Be prepared. Family
And
too. Don't
Family
leave them
too. And I have a lot of people that are unhappy with me in my immediate family.
out.
But she wasn't unhappy with my daddy when he gave you money.
Many are called, few are chosen. Okay?
You know,
That's how
when
that
he
goes.
would run in his hand in his pocket,
Okay.
and you were riding on Maypop tires,
Okay.
and he bought you tires.
Mm.
He helped you put a down
Yeah.
payment on your house, and he never got that back because
Right.
he didn't want it back.
Right.
He would just give it to you. My cousin said to me one time, she said, "Frank would just give me money." She said, "I think he felt sorry for me." I said, "No."
He was a giver.
I said, "He loved you,
Yes, he was a
and he
giver.
always wanted you to
And
have,
he didn't look for nothing back.
and looked for nothing."
Right.
And because of his generosity, I would go in places and people would say, "Aren't you Frank's daughter?" I would say, "Yes."
Yeah.
Take that. It's
Right.
okay. You know.
Yeah.
I go in restaurants. "Aren't you Frank's daughter?" "Yes, sir."
Mm-hmm.
He said, "Your bill was paid a long time ago." So,
That's wonderful.
you know,
That's wonderful.
when I wrote the book, I interviewed so many people. One of the gentlemen that I interviewed, I had to actually like stop and excuse myself, and I went to the bathroom,
Right.
and I literally broke down in tears.
Wow.
I had never met this man before,
Mm-hmm.
but what he said to me was, I would not be the man today if it was not for your father. Your
That's
father
amazing.
watched out for
That's
me.
amazing.
And I cried because one, Daddy never talked about him. He never talked about what he did for people. But for him to feel that way, you know, I would not be the man I am.
Wow. That's
You know,
that's heavy.
And then his best friend talked so, you know, Robert Pino talked about him just so, you know, they were really close. He said people thought that they were Frank's best friend.
Wow.
But I was his best friend.
Wow. So let me ask you something. You know, I really believe that spirits don't leave us. I believe that our ancestors, we stand on the shoulders of our ancestors.
Absolutely.
So what would you say to your dad right now who's listening in?
And I know he is.
Yes.
Am I doing it right, Daddy?
Yeah. And
Are you proud, Daddy?
Yes.
You know, I
I
just
know.
want to make him proud.
Yeah, I know he is very pleased and proud of you, because what you're doing is a beautiful thing. Anytime we honor our ancestors, our parents, or anything that you do to honor someone else, God blesses you, and he's well pleased with that, because you don't have to do it. You're doing it because you love your dad.
I did it
And
because
there's
I
a
love
message behind it. So what is the message of your movie that's coming out?
To live every day as if it were your
The
last.
Okay.
And my
Say that
father
again for
live
the audience.
every day as if it were your last. And my father had a mantra. He said, I do not follow patterns.
Okay.
I
That's
set
good.
them.
Okay. Trailblazer.
So, you know,
Yes.
he was just himself.
Yes.
You know, and people loved Frank Baker. And, you know, if my mother were here, she'd say, the women loved him.
Okay. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, he was a handsome man, okay?
She said, you know, he liked to squire the girls. You know, she was trying to be nice, you know.
Yeah. That's wonderful. So you dropped a lot of gems here. So for the young people out there, and I always say young people first, who are out there trying to do their thing, regardless whether it's theater, writing, whatever it is. What message do you want to send them?
Keep going.
The journey's not
Keep
over.
going. The only way you can get to your goal is to keep going, and don't listen to the naysayers.
That's a good one.
They have no importance
That's
in your
a good
life.
one.
They
That's
have
a good one.
none. Because see, whatever right now, and I can't say this, but I have an A-lister ready to work with my movie.
Okay.
I went to God first.
Okay.
People thought I was crazy. And I said, oh, I'm going to get that
But
person.
you know what? It takes a little crazy. You have to be ambitious. It's going to take you stepping out of your comfort zone.
Exactly.
You're going to have to be a little crazy.
And when I called a friend of mine and I told her about it, she said, girl, I got to pull over. I'm about to wreck my car.
I love that. I love that.
So, you know, I go to God with everything I need, my wants, my desires, my prayers, my thoughts. I go straight to God.
That's deep.
So he can
That's
open
deep.
the door.
Yes.
You know, and I listen every morning as I get up. I listen to Joyce Myers, Stephen Feuderich, and I'm listening because, you know, I want to learn.
Right. Let me ask you a question. Sorry to interrupt you. Do you believe in affirmations?
Yes.
Yes. Because you have to believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, no one else
Nobody
will believe
will.
you.
Nobody
Yes.
will believe in you.
Yes.
When I was writing, nobody believed I was going to finish this book. I even called someone one day and I said, can you tell me this? Can you tell me? Oh, I don't remember. And I'm like, Hudzy, you do remember. You just don't want to say. But the book came out. The book is doing well.
Beautiful. And on that note, we're going to take a break. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
And you will be back.
Thank you.
All right. And we're back. First of all, I just want to say how excited I was to have Rhonda Stansbury on my show. It was just a beautiful, beautiful conversation. And she will be joining us again. And this segment is brought to you by what I've been drinking and enjoying. Riondo. I got it right. No, I didn't. Riondo. But thank you. This is one of my favorite champagnes that I love because it's not very strong, it's not sweet, and I don't get tipsy. I just feel good. That's what it's all about, feeling good. So if you want to enjoy a nice, refreshing drink, Riondo is the one. Okay, so now I want to talk about, I have another guest that I'm very excited that was recommended by my queen. Morning.
Good morning.
And your name is beautiful.
I'm Andrea Adams, and it's just a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you for coming. Now, this is Andrea Adams, and she's such a beautiful, humble spirit, which is so needed in today. I can't stress that enough. But Andrea has a really impactful story that I think that she needs to share. This is my first time really having a conversation with Andrea. We've talked before, but you're going to really love her story. This is to inspire. It's going to be impactful. It's going to make you believe that you can do whatever you want. So, Andrea, first let's talk, where are you from?
Okay, just a little history. I was born in Guyana, that's in South America, next to Suriname, Brazil, and I grew up in Barbados. So now I reside here in the beautiful Jacksonville.
Okay, now, already she's done all this traveling already, okay? So you have sort of like a African accent with a little Spanish to it, which is interesting.
It's actually South American.
South American,
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's
Yes.
exciting. Okay, so I want to really get into, you've been featured in this book, and it says here, first I want you to see the cover of this book. This is a beautiful book here. And this is a very inspirational book by Carolyn Wilson, and you're featured in this story. So tell us about this book, and how did you get featured in it in the first place?
Okay, so just a little bit history about that. I met Dr. Carolyn Wilson when I worked with Les Brown, and we developed a relationship since then. So after we did that training with him, Carolyn and we continued to stay in contact, and she reached out to me stating that she has an anthology. And she was able to gather together 25 women from around the globe.
Wow.
Yeah, so we all had that opportunity to tell our story. But what I wrote about is perseverance, because throughout my life I've had so many challenges, and I just thought that it would be great for people to know the importance of persevering no matter what.
Okay. First of all, she mentioned the word that the one of the men that I love, mentors, motivational speakers, which is Les Brown. Les Brown, shout out to Les Brown. He is wonderful, and he has an also very impactful story that is amazing. So I love Les Brown. That's number one. Also, you had said, so let's talk about this story. Let's start from rewind the journey. It's always good to have the journey because that is the foundation. So let's start from when you was a little girl. Let's go from there.
Okay, so the first book, actually the one, it's called Soaring Against, Women Across Borders, Soaring to Greater Heights.
Wow.
That actually features my childhood journey. And the reason why I had to learn how to persevere, because as a child I faced abuse, and that would have been sexual abuse, and it really stopped me from being able to speak up. And I left Guyana, and then I went to live in Barbados. That's after my parents separated. And as I went through life, I found it really difficult to represent myself, to speak up. So that's what the first book speaks about. Now, her story, what it talks about is the continuation of that journey, because it talks about the career path where I really wanted to work within a specific department.
Okay.
And no matter how much I tried, I could not get in. And I did what I don't usually do. I spoke up.
Okay, good. So let's hold that right there. Sorry, I just have to say this. She said something, a key word. She found herself having to speak up. So what I want to know, because there's a gap here, how did you end up in the United States?
I got here by my husband, and my journey, what I usually say is that my life really, I don't have like an aha moment or a moment where everything happened, where I received that transition of mindset. I would say it was an experience. Reason being is that I first went through what you call like a healthy thoughts challenge. It was 7 days.
Okay.
And I really thought that academics was it. Like once I have my academics in place, that was important. But by doing this challenge, I realized that self-development is really much different than academics.
Yes, very.
And that's where I transitioned my thinking. I was able to deal with my experiences in a better way and to find healing. Especially through writing, as you were mentioning before. When I wrote my first book, I can remember every time I went through a few lines, I would cry, and sometimes it took me days to really and truly put that experience that I had on paper. So my journey just went through, it wasn't like in a moment, but it was over a period of time and experiences, and transitioning not just from academics, but into self-development, working with mentors. You talked about working with mentors before. Those are the things that transitioned me.
Absolutely. Yeah. Do you have any children?
I do. I have 3 beautiful children. My eldest is 20 years old.
Okay.
He lives in Barbados. And my younger ones are 13 and 11 years old.
The girls?
Boy and girl.
Boy and girl. So how your experience affects them? How are you mentoring them and inspiring them?
Oh, it's amazing that you asked that. I got this Mother's Day card from them, and I was in tears.
Aww.
Because one of the things that they spoke about is me always being positive. I've been able to speak on platforms with Les Brown and other really, I would say, thought-provoking leaders. And my children, they really do admire that. I'm able to put that positive energy over to them. You spoke about affirmations. I teach them affirmations.
Good.
And what I've also done is created a program for kids where they can speak.
That's wonderful.
Yes, and my kids are part of it. In fact, in November, I'm having a conference, and my daughter, she's one of the featured speakers at 13 years old.
That's exciting. That is exciting. So this whole journey has really helped your children as well become who they would have not come if it wasn't for you. You know, because your story and the abuse and everything you went, that helped your children become who they are. And they're just going to get better and better, which is wonderful. So that is a blessing. So tell everybody where they can see your daughter at. That's important.
Okay, so on November 1st, the Caribbean Museum in Miami, Asia will be speaking. We have 5 children actually speaking, and my daughter is one of them, Andrea Adams.
Can anyone else be a part of this program?
Yes, so we're talking about 2 different programs. One is Global Kids Speak, and that's a program that I funded. I have youths from across the globe. I have children from Trinidad and Tobago, Guyana, Jamaica, US, even Pakistan. I've had kids from Pakistan.
That's wonderful.
So because of that program, the students have been able to be linked to the conference.
That's wonderful. See, that's why I'm glad I asked those questions, because you're doing a lot of beautiful work here. And what's amazing is that you're working with children, and I love children because my background especially needs children. People who don't know that, working with and being a teacher. But it's so wonderful when we take what we have learned and we instill it in our children, because children are the future. But what's beautiful also is that as adults and people like us who have been through so many different things, that our journey continues, which is beautiful. And so what you're actually doing is encouraging other beautiful queens like yourself to keep going no matter what with abuse. So what inspires you today?
Oh, wow. I believe that my inspiration is the kids. I know that my calling is teaching people the art of public speaking. I have a program not only for kids, but I have a program for adults, which is called Voice Masters,
Okay.
which is linked to the
Beautiful.
conference. But my focus and my love, what I call my heart project, are the kids. And what inspires me is seeing development, seeing changes. I've had students who would not even speak, and now they're so bold. They're winning prizes
That's
in their
wonderful.
schools for speaking up. So my inspiration is leaving that global footprint on youths, allowing them to understand the power of communication. First of all, self-communication.
Okay.
Self-love, understanding
Self-love,
to have that
absolutely.
language with themselves,
Yes.
and then by extension, whoever it is they come into contact with. So that's my inspiration.
That's beautiful. That is a big inspiration. So who are some of your mentors? The kids mentor you.
They do mentor me indirectly. Some of my mentors are Les Brown
Yes.
and John Tallarico. I've been mentored by Michael Silvers of the Mentor Studio. Those are people that I've directly worked with that have really influenced my life in a big way. Also, I have Dr. Sonia Noel. She's been such an inspiration. I always tell her that if she'd never reached out to me about the Healthy Thoughts Challenge, which when I first learned about it, I'm like, no, I don't have bad thoughts. I think good things about people.
Yeah.
But it is way more than
It
thinking
is.
good or bad about
It is.
people. It's being able to control your thoughts, meditate,
Right,
give
absolutely.
affirmation. Because when we have negative thoughts, the chemicals that are released into our body, what it
Exactly,
does, it
into the brain,
affects
yeah.
our body at a cellular level. So you
deep.
really and truly do have to understand when you give yourself affirmations and gratitude, you're actually helping your body to reset.
Absolutely.
Yes.
You're absolutely correct about this. Now, I want to showcase this book here called Her Story, Healed, Empowered, and Resilient, which is a beautiful book. I just love what it says here. And I see that you are featured in the book here, Perseverance with Elsa. Let's talk about that. Elsa, how did you get that name?
Okay, so that's when I wasn't so self-discovered, but I was still going through my journey. I started to transition a little bit more into trying to speak up somewhat. I was working in Barbados, and I was working for a beautiful company, Colombian Emeralds, and they gave me an opportunity to go to one of the elite stores, which is where Beyonce and where Tiger Woods' wedding was. I was able to meet people like Simon Powell and a lot of really well-known celebrities at this location. But that wasn't enough for me because I believe with the exposure to seeing that there are people who pay $700,000 for a piece of jewelry. I'm like, oh, there is more to life, and that's the type of jewelry I was selling. So it gave me inspiration to want more. And at that time, my want more was becoming an accountant. So I had started studying to become a chartered accountant. And internally, I wanted to grow internally because I was already with the company for maybe 4 years. But they never gave me that opportunity. Every time there is a job opening, I applied, I never got it. And then one day I just decided I'm going to skip everyone and just go to the regional manager, which I did. So the book highlights some of that journey and how I felt along the way, how nervous I was. But I believe that it was a stepping stone for me to even get to higher heights.
So as you were talking, and I had read that a little bit of the chapter, and it said something about red bottom shoes, and I was reading different things as I was going through. So what's the difference between spiritual wealth and material wealth?
Oh wow, love that. So I always say that we are so rich. And being rich has nothing to do with what you have on your bank account. It has nothing to do with your houses, your cars, nothing. Our richness is in us, our mindset, our heart, the ability to love. So that's where spiritual richness comes. You could be the most wealthiest person on the bank account and the most poorest man or woman alive.
Okay, hold that thought. Say that again for the audience. Say that again.
Yes, you could be the most wealthiest person in your bank account, but the most poorest man or woman alive.
That's deep.
If you do not have a proper mindset.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That is so important, because one of the reasons why I do what I do is because of wonderful, beautiful people like you and Rhonda Stansbury, for people, especially for the young adults, you know, who are influenced by social media and by television and different things, and they feel that if only I can get the bag of this, just this, you know, whatever material things that they love, I'll be happy. But tell them what true happiness comes from.
It comes from within, and it comes with self-love, self-acceptance, self-respect, self-worth.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. I appreciate it. So you have dropped a lot of gems here. So do you have any advice for for the young people coming up? And I'm not really concerned about the little kids. I'm talking about the teenage years going into college. Because the little kids, if they have the right foundation that you are applying in their life, they're going to be fine. I'm talking about the ones who did not get a chance to have someone like you in their life. What advice would you give them?
Okay, I always say for me is 5 P's. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. If you take those principles and you apply it, it doesn't matter whether it's academically or whatever it is that you're doing in your life, spiritually, everything comes from a great foundation.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, here's the tricky one, devil's advocate. What if they don't have a great foundation? Where do they get help? What should they do?
You always need that mentor. It's important. A mentor is like an anchor.
Yes.
We can't do it on our own. We were not meant to survive on our own as humans. We were always meant to have some form of support.
Absolutely, absolutely. And if they don't have support from family or friends, say for example, Rhonda and I had talked about, you know, people falling off, sort of speak, you know. Where could they get help from?
We have aunties,
okay.
We have pastors, and if you find yourself in that position where you cannot trust someone who is around you, they're people, they're professionals, they're pastors, they are coaches, counselors, but there are always solutions. It's always there. It's just that sometimes we do not have the mindset to look for it, but the answers are always there.
Yes, absolutely, and I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And we're going to bring back Queen Rhonda Stansbury. Come and have a seat, Rhonda, with us.
Sure.
Thank you, thank you. This has been such an impactful morning. I mean, like, this is church right here.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. But both of you are really have inspired everybody today with all the things that you have said. And so Rhonda, do you have any gems that you would like to drop?
You know, I tell people connection with people. She and I connected through a mutual friend, and we became friends, Nikisha Prince. And Nikisha lives in Barbados, and she and I became friends.
Yeah.
You gotta make the connection with people. You gotta talk to people.
Right.
You gotta open your mouth.
Yeah.
You know, and you gotta share. And I like positivity. I do think that negativity breeds negativity.
Oh, absolutely.
So that's when I'm easing away from you, because every day is already a challenge in life. So why do I need that negativity around me? I get up, I have to have a smile on my face. That was one thing, that a smile on my face. You know, you may not know that it's hurting on the inside of Rhonda, but Rhonda's smiling, and I always got something I can laugh about.
Right, absolutely. And let's talk about that, because you have a very good diet. And when we say diet, we mean nutrition. You're a vegetarian, aren't you, Rhonda?
I am.
Yeah. Now, it doesn't matter whether you're a vegetarian or not, but nutrition does play an important part of how the brain functions, doesn't it? And how you feel in the morning.
It does. When I decided, okay, I've had enough. One thing is, I went to the doctors, and he said, "You're pre-diabetic." I was like, "Oh, time out." Okay, time out. And I said, "Okay, I've got to work on my weight."
Right.
Because I was getting heavier
Right.
and heavier. And a lot of times people,
Yeah.
they eat because they have nothing else
Comfort.
to do.
I call it comfort.
You're eating and you're not even knowing that you're eating and you're watching
comfort.
TV. And now you've had 12 pieces of candy and looking for the 13th. And
Ooh, I feel
so-
that guilt coming on with that candy bar.
And, you know, my brain
Right.
operates differently.
Yes, yes.
You know, my daddy used to say, too much of anything is bad for you.
Oh, absolutely.
And I try to eat healthy, and it is not easy.
It's not. So, Andrea, I wanted to ask you a question because you talked about affirmation, talked about mentors and different things. But one thing we also have to talk about, how do you feel about having, besides a human experience, should we look for also a spiritual guidance?
Oh yes, we do. I believe that we are actually just here. We're spiritual beings having a human experience.
Yes, absolutely.
So I believe that we need to really and truly always have that focus.
Yes.
And the world, basically the world we see is the world as we are. So if we see confusion, we see hate, whatever it is, that's
Yeah.
what's inside. And it all comes with understanding your inner world and becoming conscious of
Yes.
your inner world,
Yes.
controlling your thoughts,
Yes.
practicing self-control, and just being able to balance that being,
Yes.
which is energy.
Absolutely. So, what would you say to children who have been abused, boy or girl? It doesn't matter. Gender doesn't matter. Hurt is hurt. Pain is pain. Give them something, a gem to drop that can encourage them who may not feel they have a voice.
Okay, so what I would say to that child is that you are loved, you are loved, and there is always someone out there who's ready to represent you, to support you. Because I can tell you, when you're going through abuse, most times you believe as if you're there alone. But never believe that. Always know that there are people out there, advocates who are ready to support you, and remember that you are worthy, you are loved.
I love that. You are worthy. That is such an important thing for
that
people
is.
to know, that everybody's worthy. Now, Rhonda, I wanted to ask you a question. Does age play a factor in your journey? Tell the people out there, because a lot of people, especially now with Instagram, Facebook, social media, they all feel like you have to be like some young chick out there, you know. But tell them about what God can do.
I'd be here all day if I told you about God.
No, that's right.
See, I love my Bible.
Okay.
Okay. Age has no bearing. Age is just a number.
A chronological number.
And I believe that things happen in their own time.
Appointed time, okay?
Okay. I am proud to say I will be 66 years old
Okay.
in September. But what I'm sad about is my best friend of 40-some years lost his wife on yesterday.
Sorry to hear that.
But the day before, he celebrated his 38th wedding anniversary.
Wow.
You know? And so my heart is so heavy for him, because he and I are such good friends. She and I were such good friends. But this journey that I'm on with movies, books, time is now.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
if you said, would you have rather done it earlier, I would say yes, but then I have to go back and say no, because that's not what God wanted me.
Right.
And I have to appreciate God for being God, because he knows
Right.
before I know.
Right.
You know, he knew that Frank Baker's baby was going to write this book.
Okay. And that's
You
important.
know.
Yeah.
it's all about
It's all about timing, God's timing, right?
His time.
So let's talk about this book again, because we need to put this book out there and plug this book. Okay.
Well, my book,
Handle. and where can
Numbers
they find
35
you?
and 53 can be found on Amazon. You can put in my name, Rhonda Baker Stansbury, and bam, the book is going to come up. All of the features. You know, I love talking about Samara, because Samara has been one of my biggest supporters. My daughter, Samara, Alan Jones, my family.
We'll talk about this too, sorry.
Has been my biggest supporters.
Yes.
You know, in what I'm doing. In 66, just waiting on
Age
it.
is but a number. But now let's go to you. Thank you so much, Rhonda. So let's talk about Andrea. Let's talk about this real quick. Because I apologize. I just saw it under here. A woman across borders surviving the greater heights. I know to survivor
Soaring.
to soaring. This is what happens. You don't have your glasses on. Soaring to greater heights. Yes, I love that. Soaring. I love that word. Period. Let's talk about that.
That means a lot to me, and that is actually significant because that is the first book that I've ever penned in.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes.
That's also an anthology, but it gave me the first, I would say, opportunity to voice something that was in me.
Mm-hmm.
And
So
it
this
was
book
my
is like your
hardest.
healer, right? Your
Yeah.
healer.
Yes,
This
because
is the
it
healer right
spoke
here.
about the abuse, and
Yes.
I had so much fear because
Yes.
even family members who did not know
Mm.
about it, I
Wow.
can remember feeling so anxious when it was released, like, oh my God, I should probably have this recalled.
Yeah.
But writing that book, I cried throughout, and it was just one chapter. I think it was either 1,500
And this
or
is what
2,000
healed you too,
words.
right? To get
It
to the
did.
heights, the greater heights. Yeah. Beautiful. And where can they purchase this book?
Okay, so that can be found on Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
That's Women Across Borders, Soaring to Greater Heights. Also, the other books can be found
Yes.
on
So
Amazon.
where can
too.
they? Yeah.
Her story.
Beautiful. Beautiful. And
Yes.
Rhonda, yours too, right?
Absolutely,
Mhm.
Amazon, and they've been good. You know.
Yes.
Writing books are not what people
It's
think
therapy.
that
It's therapy.
think that it is. Everybody will say, "Oh, if she wrote a book, I can too." Trust me,
Mm-mm. No.
it is a process.
It is.
You know, and when you're writing about, my friend Cortina, she says, when you're writing about affairs of the heart, she said those are some of the most difficult things to talk about.
It is.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, ladies, I just want to say thank you so much for this beautiful Sunday morning.
No, thank you.
It has been a blessing. You're so welcome. I'm blessed to meet these beautiful and have a relationship with you now as well as and Rhonda. And again, you know, this is me coming back. You know, I've been away for a year traveling and everything, and the journey has been a journey. It's been exciting. This is Queen Court's Conversation, now a conversation with Queen D. I'm changing that because I have a lot of gentlemen, kings, that also would like to speak and be on my show. And I'm very excited for what's my journey is next. So Queen D is excited. Also, I just wanted to say one thing I didn't tell you about that from all the little gossip and things that I read about. Last year was a very difficult year for Queen because there was someone that I really loved and cared about that had passed away from cancer. And he had struggled for an entire year in pain, did not tell everybody, but he kept saying to me that I'm going to live, and he didn't. So why am I saying that? I'm saying that because you only live once, the journey is now, and if you don't do it now, there will be nothing, and you will regret. If you leave this world and don't do what you wanted to do, when there's other people who wanted to take your place, then you'll understand what I'm talking about. So live your life to the fullest, because life is a journey, and you always learn because the world is a classroom. So thank you again for these beautiful women. I had a wonderful time, and you'll see this will be put up on YouTube. You can find all of my information on Instagram, Lorraine Amoir, as well as my Facebook, as well as Alice D. Clayton, which is my birth name. Alice means truth. And I'm continuing my journey, and I'm loving it. So love your life, do what you can to make it better. The glasses here, we're gonna cheers, we're gonna have a little toast here. Almost forgot, let's get our glasses out. We're gonna say cheers to life and journey,
Absolutely.
because life is a journey. Let's toast to life.
To life.
Cheers. And my tagline has always been right over here. I got them. This is for you, Rhonda.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. And this is for Andrea. Because I believe you deserve your flowers now, not when you're in the grave.
Oh, wow. Thank you. Oh, my goodness.
And on that note, bye-bye. See you next time.
Thank you.
Bye.
Look at that beautiful presentation. Fresh cucumber, crisp mint, that perfect golden bubble that says, I'm here for the good times and meaningful conversations. That's what Riondo brings to the table. Sophistication that doesn't try too hard. Authenticity that pairs perfectly with real connection.